Speaker, quorum is now present.
Orders of the business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Next, Honorable Fred.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Nimesimama kuuliza kuna mswada nilikuwa nimeleta bungeni Mheshimiwa Singe akauliza hapa kuhusu yale iliyofanyika mpaka leo Mheshimiwa Spika. Hiyo wiki iliyopita hatujaona Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Fred, I'm sufficiently informed at my desk that the said statement that was sought by Honorable Cynthia will be answered this afternoon. Next order.
Order number 8, Nandi County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2018, second reading.
Honorable Kipkuri Jepkony.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the Nandi County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2018 be read for the second time. Honorable Speaker, this bill has been lying before this Honorable House from 2018, Honorable Speaker, and I think we have been able to delve into the content of this report, of this bill for a long while. There were issues that had been raised by a few members on the issues of public participation, on the public participation bill, Honorable Speaker. And as a committee, we have been able to look through, and we, in our report, Honorable Speaker, we have offered audience to any member after that, in case there were any issues, Honorable Speaker. And fortunately, or unfortunately, we were not able to receive. However, Honorable Speaker, in our report, if you go through our report, Honorable Speaker, we have quite a few amendments that the committee has been able to propose. And every member here, since this report was shared to members before, Honorable Speaker, by 5th of November 2019, Honorable Speaker. Now we are talking about 2020, Honorable Speaker. I wouldn't want to go much into the details of our findings and our proposed amendments, Honorable Speaker, because we have very few amendments. This is one of the documents, Honorable Speaker, that for purposes of our legislation to have meaning and ownership by the citizens in this county, Honorable Speaker, this public participation bill, I would urge the honorable members that we finalize with this once and for all this time around, because, Honorable Speaker, among as the parameters used even in allocation of funds, which is engagement with the public, Honorable Speaker, this is going to guide our public engagements with the public and ensure that every other affair that the county assembly engages itself in, Honorable Speaker, is structured as by the guidance of this bill. So I want to urge honorable members that we finalize this business once and for all this time round, and I encourage everyone, Honorable Speaker.
Would you wish to be informed by Honorable Fred?
Anytime, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, si kusema ujulishaji, nimesema hoja habari. Mheshimiwa Speaker, ningependa kupata habari kwa kulingana na kipengele ya bunge hii ya kwamba kama mswada imekaa zaidi ya mwezi 6, Mheshimiwa Speaker, ama tumeenda kwa kikao ya pili, Mheshimiwa Speaker, hiyo mswada itakuwa imeanguka. Mheshimiwa Speaker, ningependa kupata habari kwa mawakili wetu watuambie kama sheria inaruhusu iendelee, Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Honorable Fred, I think you have raised a good concern, and I think when it comes to motions presented, immediately we break for the sessions, the motion should come afresh. But for a bill, it only expires when the term of the assembly ends. So with this bill, I think it is properly before the assembly. Proceed, Honorable Kipkurui.
Mheshimiwa Spika,
Yes, Honorable Fred.
unajua kulingana na kipengele muda inaisha wakati kalenda inaisha, Mheshimiwa Spika, sababu tukianza kalenda mpya, Mheshimiwa Spika, nafikiri itakuwa imeisha hivyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Hii imemaliza karibu kalenda mbili, Mheshimiwa Spika. Hiyo ndio ningependa tu kupata habari kuhusu yale sheria inasema, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Order, Honorable Fred. I've given direction. For motions, you are equally very right. This is a bill that is properly before the House, so it should be considered by the House. Proceed, Honorable Kipkurui.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Now that the Honorable Member for Kapsabet has sought more information, I would encourage him, Honorable Speaker, and continue to thank the Honorable leadership of this Assembly for ensuring that the standing orders are provided to Honorable Fred in Kiswahili, and I'm sure the member for Chemundu will benefit from it as well, Honorable Speaker, the Kiswahili version of the standing order. So possibly the Honorable Member for Kapsabet would read further.
Would you
on the
be
issue of
imputing that Honorable Robert Kirwa, Honorable Kipkurui, I think Honorable Robert Kirwa can sufficiently represent his views, so you don't have to speak on behalf of any member here. They will speak for themselves, including Honorable Frederick Kipkemboi.
Hoja ni damu, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Kipkurui yako kwa sheria, Mheshimiwa Spika, akisema ya kwamba pengine Kiswahili ni ya Mheshimiwa Fred na Mheshimiwa Chama, na kipengele namba 76 inasema wasi unatumia Kiswahili, Kiingereza na mikono. Yeye yako kwa hii bunge, Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima yeye atuambie hata ndani yako kwa hiyo Kiswahili, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ako kwa sheria, Mheshimiwa Spika.
You should, Honorable Kipkurui Jepkwan, you should be informed sufficiently by the master of all the standing orders, and equally aware that our standing orders clearly stipulate that you can use English, Kiswahili, and sign language. So all of us benefit from what is presented in this House. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm only saying, Honorable Speaker, that I know the passion the member for Chemundu has for Kiswahili, Honorable Speaker. And I don't shy away, Honorable Speaker, to say that as much as I went to school, I am not good in, I can't be an authority in Kiswahili, Honorable Speaker, but the two honorable members can actually dare to be authorities in Kiswahili, Honorable Speaker. That aside, Honorable Speaker, I would want then to proceed to call upon the honorable member for Kabisaga, honorable member for Kabisaga, Honorable Speaker, to be able to second this motion.
I therefore propose that Nandi County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2018 be read a second time, be discussed.
Mheshimiwa Spika,
Honorable Fred.
ningependa kuomba bunge hili, Mheshimiwa Spika, ya kwamba uhitimishe hii mswada, kwa sababu imekuwa muda tukisoma, Mheshimiwa Spika, ili tuelewe. Unajua tumeletewa leo, Mheshimiwa Spika, na tuelewe na yale yanaendelea, na hii ni sheria, hii ni hoja, Mheshimiwa Spika. Tunaweza tunapitisha ikuwe kama ile mambo ya serikali kuu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Serikali kuu walifanya makosa, sasa hiyo nataka kuvunja bunge. Ningeomba kwa sababu hii si mswada, hii ni hoja, tupe muda tusome, tuone yale yanaendelea, labda ikiujao, Mheshimiwa Spika, utakuwa unahitimisha.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kipkurui.
Honorable Speaker, I would wish to inform this Honorable House that the Honorable Member for Kapsabet has reason to seek for extension of time and even adjournment on discussion on the same bill, Honorable Speaker, twice. And the reason why we are here in 2020 from 2018 is not because of anything else. It is because of the Honorable Member for Kapsabet, Honorable Speaker. So for him again to seek more time to go and read the document, and this is the reason why the document was not able to progress to the second stage, Honorable Speaker, was because he saw time. And even so, Honorable Speaker, he had indicated that he wanted to be given opportunity to be heard by the committee, that he had amendments, Honorable Speaker. And I said, Honorable Speaker, unfortunately, or fortunately, He did not have an amendment. He just mentioned that he just needed to read it, Honorable Speaker. And so, Honorable Speaker, it will not be proper for the Honorable Member for Kapsabet to continue seeking extension, buying time, which can be in term to wasting time, Honorable Speaker, on this bill. And we have, like I have said, Honorable Speaker, this bill is very important because it's going to structure our public participation. It is going to guide both the executive and the assembly, Honorable Speaker, in how to engage with the public, so that the executive don't continue bringing documents to the assembly which have not gone through public consultation, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to seek that the Honorable Member for Kapsabet reminds us himself that this bill, he has sought time to read it over and over for 2 years, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Nidhamu, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes,
Kipengele
Honorable
namba
Fred.
90 iko wazi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Kicheponya, tuoneshe nini inaonesha kwamba mimi niliomba muda, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Order, Honorable
Kwa
Fred.
sababu kipengele, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Order, Honorable Fred. Order, Honorable Fred. Let me give direction. Honorable Fred, as Honorable Gupuru has clearly put it, it is within the desk of the Speaker that indeed this particular bill, its debate was adjourned, suspended, due to a request you made that we still go for further consultation. So it is clearly in order that at this point in time we discuss and dispense of this matter so that we can thereafter at the committee of the whole house, if anyone has any amendment, propose them now so that at the committee of the whole house those amendments will be captured and will be considered at the committee of the whole house. So it is well in order. I welcome members to contribute to this particular debate. Yes, Honorable Fred.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Nimesimama kupinga hii hoja, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ya kwanza, Mheshimiwa Spika, tulikuwa tumekaa chini siku hiyo tukasema ifanywe marekebisho, Mheshimiwa Spika. Marekebisho hatujaletewa mpaka leo kwa sababu mswada tulisongesha, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na nafikiri wakati hiyo tungeangusha, na najua wakaamua kukataa kupitinisha kwa sababu walijua wabunge ni wabaya, na leo wamelete bila kutuambia kwamba tutakuwa na hii mswada leo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Nafikiri hata kwa kalenda hakuna, kwa ile kalenda pale. Ni kwa sababu ya hesabu tu inachorwa hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kuna makosa tulikuwa tumesema ya kwamba lazima mheshimiwa mbunge akwe pale ndani. Nafikiri kwa hiyo kipengele, Mheshimiwa Spika, ingawa sijapitia ndani, nafikiri tayari wameleta kwa njia kama siku ile. Nafikiri mheshimiwa wanakumbuka vile ilifanyika siku ile. Walileta mara moja, sasa tumekataa, wanaamua kurudisha, ndio wanaleta leo. Ndio nimesema mimi sitaki kufuata yale maneno ya serikali kuu. Unastukia bunge inavunjwa kwa sababu ya kufanya maovu. Mimi siwezi fanya mambo kama haya. Tunataka tuende sheria, tupewe muda, tuisome ili tuelewe kama kuna marekebisho. Hata kama hiyo kamati walifanya marekebisho. Marekebisho gani walifanya? Kwa sababu sheria inasema lazima uwekelee hiyo marekebisho, tuone haikufanywa kwa sababu kuna hesabu inasukumwa. Wanasema tu endeni mpitishe, alafu mawaziri watakaa, mheshimiwa gavana, sisi tutafukuzwa nyumbani. Wabunge sasa wanalia kule serikali kuu kwa sababu ya makosa waliofanya. Hesabu tu ilichorwa na wabunge wenzao, na mpaka sasa wako na shida. Bunge ikivunjwa wanaenda nyumbani. Hata kule Senate tunataka tuelewane ya kwamba ile mswada tunajua ni mswada, ni maombi, lakini hoja ni sheria. Baada ya kupitisha leo hivi inaanza kazi kesho asubuhi. Na hiyo ndio nikasema mimi siungi mkono, hata kama kuna mambo itatokezea mimi nimekataa, kwa sababu wewe kama ni mbunge, hata kama unajua hii mambo kiasi gani, lazima ueleze ule mwingine kwa njia mzuri. Kwa sababu kuna mtu lazima aelezwe kwa mkono, kuna mtu lazima aongelezwe kwa ile lugha anaelewa, na sheria inakubali. Kwa hivyo nimesema wabunge kama wanajua, waisome mzuri, waifuatilie. Sheria ni sheria. Sheria hata kuinuku peke yake kuna maana, sio sawa na Kiingereza. Ukiweka tu kuinuku hivi kuna maanisha sheria inamaanisha fulani. Tungesema ya kwamba kama mimi nimepinga na tuangushe hii kitu ili waende watengeneze ya mwaka huu. Wewe weka kitu kwa mwaka mbili ati unalete leo na siku ile tulikataa. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimepinga. Asante sana.
Honorable Cheriot.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to support this bill. Mr. Speaker, this is the bill actually which talks about public participation. We are have gone through it several times. We have made amendments, and Mr. Speaker, as you have correctly said that actually when we will be delegating on it, members will have time to pass with amendments or to pass the way without any amendments. So this one actually we just stayed for more than 2 years. And it is just about public participation. It relates that actually when any project is to be done within our wards or within our county, there has to be a public participation. And who are supposed to be there during this public participation? This is the document actually which it is something actually which we have been doing. It is something which has been going on. We have been doing some of these things, but we wanted to put it into a bill that each and every activity which is going on within our wards, there has to be a public participation where members of the public actually will be highlighted on which and what kind of project is to be done. It is actually something which we have been doing it, so that actually it has not been captured and made it into law. Who are supposed to be there during public participation. So it is actually a document which has been within our reach for several months and years now, around 2 years, Honorable Speaker. So I urge members actually that actually we pass this one, we discuss and make amendments where possible. Where we want to put an amendment, we just put it here and then we pass it. So actually I don't see something which is very difficult for us here because, Mr. Speaker, this is some of the things actually which we have been doing. When we say there has to be a sub-county unit, we have a sub-county administrators and we have ward administrators. It actually entails when each and every activity, each and every program which has to be undertaken within our wards or our county, there has to be a public participation where members of the public actually will keep their views and opinions. Opinion leaders keep their views. We have faith-based organizations to keep their views in every project actually which we want to undertake within our ward. So it is about public participation, what is to be done. So I urge members actually, I request honorable members that we pass this one and we do away with it so that actually some of the programs will keep running. That is my request, humble request, Mr. Speaker, and I request the members to let's adhere to it.
Honorable comment, and Honorable Fred, switch off your microphone.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would wish to thank the committee for this report. Actually, development in our wards really depends on proper public participation. And I would actually urge that we really move with speed to pass this law. That one notwithstanding, there are a lot of amendments that we need to make in this law so that it suits the community development bill that we passed here, or the law that we passed here, so that the structures that the public participation follows is in line with that law that we passed in this assembly. From the document that we have here, it is putting a lot of emphasis on sub-county level, which is not the basic unit that we need to really consider. We know we have units like the village administrators. Can we start the public participation from that level so that this document envisage that gives out the right reflection of what we really need in public participation. So I would really say that we need to really scrutinize this document nicely and ensure that the public participation starts from the village to the ward, then at sub-county level, from the sub-county level, then at least from that level, would have actually come up with a very good report. So for me, I would really urge that we reconsider making amendments on this document to capture that part. Because when you look at the sub-county of Aldai, for example, the people of Terik would really travel over 50 kilometers to get to sub-county level, which means they may not be able to access, or they may not be able to give out their views effectively. So I would urge this House that we really consider coming up with amendments that will suit that.
Point
Thank
of
you.
information, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kipkoech, you've concluded, honorable comment?
Honorable Speaker, yes.
Honorable Kipkoech?
Honorable Speaker, as much as the honorable member has thought that he has concluded, I would wish to inform him and invite him to read the bill in section 12, subsection 6. And I would read that the county government shall, through county administrative units, make available the county residents all notices, county documents, records, and reports of the government. Again, Honorable Speaker, I invite him to section 23, that is part 4, on public information and civic education, Honorable Speaker, on the matters that he is talking about up to the ward level and how to engage the public beyond the sub-county, Honorable Speaker. And I would read, every financial year, the county secretary in consultation with the county executive committee shall conduct at least 2 forums at the sub-county or where necessary the ward level to inform county residents on issues including but not limited to county policy, lawmaking processes, public finance and management processes, development planning processes, monitoring and evaluation, county budget implementation, evaluation and evaluating periodic county reports. So, Honorable Speaker, his worries, Honorable Speaker, have been already taken care of in the bill, Honorable Speaker. And even further, Honorable Speaker, something that I would want to draw it to his attention is that but for purposes of inclusivity and unity of purpose, Honorable Speaker, when you look at section 24 of the bill, leadership for us, where this is one of, if this bill, when it becomes law, Honorable Speaker, we will even have a forum, where it is going to bring together members of the National Assembly, members of County Assembly, the Senator, and the Governor. Also, Honorable Speaker, when you look through, it even includes the members from the public leadership forums that we have in the villages or in our wards, Honorable Speaker. So I feel, Honorable Speaker, the concern that the member for Terry was worried about, Honorable Speaker, it is taken care of here, Honorable Speaker. However, of course, like we have said, Honorable Speaker, if you also go through the report that we have, if he is keen to go through the report that is annexed to this bill, Honorable Speaker, some of his concerns are already taken care of, Honorable Speaker. So I sought to inform him.
Further information, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
I want to thank Honorable Member for Kapsabet, Frederick, and I inform him also that actually when we came the other time, when this bill actually failed to go through, some of his concerns, like when we are going for a public participation, some of the members actually don't understand, like when we are using English, and some of our electorates actually understand Kiswahili. His concern was, let us have some of these documents actually published in Kiswahili, so that actually members of the public can understand very well. And it was captured. We went there, we make some amendments. It is in page 22 of this document, 32 part 1. Citizen petition shall be made in writing and shall be in the form of 2A, be handwritten or printed, B in English, Swahili, or Braille, for those actually people who don't see. So actually some of these things has been captured. Also in Chi, 2Chi, in case of a petition, where we have actually our chairman, Honorable Fred, actually has been handling some of these petitions, mostly. In case of a petition actually which is presented by a member of the public, this petition actually shall go through when an area MCA has given an assent. It cannot actually be brought about by anybody else and say that I have a petition. From which ward? Who is your area MCA? Is he aware of this? So it has been captured. Member of the county assembly, ward administrator or sub-county, on page 22 of this document. The petition shall be countersigned by the member of the county assembly. So I urge members, let us pass this document this bill, so that actually it can give us moving to go for some of these programs which we are doing in our work. So most of the things actually has been captured. Where it has not been captured, can make amendments here. Honorable members, kindly, I thank you. Thank you.
Honorable
Point of
Comment, what's up? What is it, Honorable Comment?
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I think this law should give us a procedure of handling public participation, not giving out information. We need a way that we are going to say and ascertain critically that public participation was done. Is it explicit in this report or in this law? It's not. So,
Honorable Comment, let me guide you. You've sufficiently made your contribution. You've proposed for some amendment. This document is up for discussion today. There is the committee of the whole house. I need all members to make sure that you capture the sentiments and the proposed amendment that you would want to make, so that from here, the committee will also still have time to listen in and have your views, such that the same is captured at the committee of the whole house. So, Honorable Comment, Honorable Fred, your views should be captured and documented so that it informs the final decision on this particular matter.
Hoja habari Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Ningependa kupata habari kwa sababu unajua hii lazima iende kwa raia kwa kiluga ya mambo public participation, ili tukikuja kukaa chini kwa hiyo kikao tuingize ile wananchi na yetu. Sisi hatujafanya jambo kama hilo, na hii ni sheria Mheshimiwa Spika. Sheria lazima iende kwa
Order, Honorable Fred. Order, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa, hoja
Order,
habari.
Honorable Fred. I want to guide you on that. Order, Honorable Fred. I want to guide you.
Mheshimiwa Spika, sijamaliza.
Order, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika.
Order, Honorable Fred. You have raised a very pertinent issue. When the bill is read for the first time, it then is committed to committee responsible. That is Committee on Public Service and Administration. From there, it goes to public participation. Then from public participation, it comes for the second reading, which is the stage that we are in. Honorable Fred. So I want to guide you that this particular bill was taken for public participation upon first reading and committing of the same by the Honorable Speaker.
Mheshimiwa Spika, hiyo ndio maana nakwambia uruhusu niongee nimalize ndio unijibu Mheshimiwa Spika. Unajua kama Mheshimiwa Spika unataka kunikatasha niseme maoni yangu, mimi nawakilisha kabisa Mheshimiwa Spika. Na sijaona
Honorable Fred, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika,
Honorable Fred, no one is denying you a chance to contribute. I am giving direction as per what you have requested. So when you want to come in a second time, you must wait for you to be given a chance. Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, niliuliza hoja habari Mheshimiwa Spika.
Proceed.
Hata sijamaliza Mheshimiwa Spika, wewe umeongea.
Proceed, Honorable Fred.
Mheshimiwa Spika, lazima tuelewane. Hii sheria itagusa watu ya Kapsabet. Kwa sababu kuna sheria lazima, sheria inasema baada ya kamati inaenda kwa raia alafu ikuja hapa Mheshimiwa Spika. Hakuna siku imekanyaga ward ya Kapsabet. Mheshimiwa Spika, sijui ward nyingine Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, ndio ningependa Mheshimiwa Spika kuomba ya kwamba kiranja ya hiyo kamati atuambie ni siku gani na ni tarehe gani walienda kwa raia kule Kapsabet, kwa sababu sheria itaruhusu itagusa watu yote Mheshimiwa Spika. Hiyo ndio ningependa kupata habari kwa ofisi yako ya kwamba ni siku gani walienda kwa ward ya Kapsabet, wakasema walienda kuongea, kwa sababu baada ya hii tutapitisha hapa Mheshimiwa Spika kwa masomo ya 3 Mheshimiwa Spika, na haijaenda kwa wananchi.
Information.
Honorable Elvas.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the honorable member for Kapsabet. This document actually was committed to the public, and we did public participation at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Kapsabet. That was the year 2018. That is the reason why some members, we have forgotten this thing, because it is long overdue. We did public participation. And I was present. I was present at St. Peter's, and we did it. It is documented, Mr. Speaker. So I'll request that actually we will keep evidence to the honorable member for Kapsabet. And members, let us be going to this public participation so that we don't forget. So I'll request that you get informed.
Hoja nidhamu Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Kipengele 90 Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa atuambie, kwa sababu lazima utakuwa kuna wananchi lazima wanaweka sahihi. Kwa hiyo hoja hatujaweka sahihi yoyote ya kaunti ya Nandi ya kwamba walienda pale, wale walikuwa kwa hiyo mkutano waliweka sahihi kiwango fulani. Sheria ni wazi, unajua lazima unaongea tu, lakini kwa sheria lazima ungeweka hapa tujue ni watu gani, kwa sababu wote 30 ama walitumia kwa ile kwa kiluka ya mambo sub county, utuoneshe wangapi, kwa sababu lazima mimi natangaza. Lakini kama hakuna hii kisheria iruhusu, hii si hoja, hii ni barua tu, kwa sababu lazima waende public participation, wananchi wachangie. Wananchi walichangia nini? Turekebisha hapa ndani, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu baada ya kikao ya
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
kiranja, Mheshimiwa Spika, tutauliza wananchi walisema nini, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Kipkurui.
Honorable Speaker, I would wish to inform these honorables that the member for Kapsabet has consistently on this report misinformed and alleged that there was no public participation that was done on this bill, Honorable Speaker, and finding reason every other time, running around to ensure that this bill does not progress, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I think the honorable member for Kapsabet should be called out that he is not interested, seemingly, on getting the bill to have structured public engagement, because, Honorable Speaker, it is clear, even what the honorable member for Terik was seeking, on we should be told on how these things are done. Honorable Speaker, members fail to read these documents, and I am ashamed of the member for Terik. If you look at section 20, from section 20, 22, 21 to 22, Honorable Speaker, it is talking about reporting. And if I will read, because I know what is his interest, if you look at section 21, talking about within 30 days after the conclusion of public participation, activities on the instrument, the public officer responsible for shall publicize a report with information on 1, A, number of citizen forums held, B, number of people reached, C, summary of submissions given by citizens, and D, consideration and use of public input, which the honorable member for Kapsabet is asking where there was an input from the public. And he knows very well. He has been in these public engagements from 2013, when I was elected with him for the first time, that when you go for public participation, it does not necessarily mean that there is going to be an input. How many times have we been able to present a document before the public, even a budget, and they say, we have no problem, we have no input, we have heard you, we understand, proceed. So, Honorable Speaker, it is not mandatory when you go to do public participation that there is going to be an input. You are going to inform the public, they can concur with the bill or a document as it is. So, Honorable Speaker, I think the member for Kapsabet needs to really read this document. And I am sure the member for Terik, now that I've guided him, is better informed on this, Honorable Speaker. Even reading further, or even as we talk now, Honorable Speaker, what the Honorable member for Kapsabet is talking about, whether when there is public input to any document, how do we follow it up? Section 21. 22, even we are demanding of the governor that he gives a report where it says, every year the governor shall submit a report on county assembly pursuant to section 92 on county government with information on A, methods of public participation used, B, budget spent, C, platforms of public participation availed, D, content generated from public participation, and E, final use of input from the people by the county executive. So that, Honorable Speaker, what the honorable member for Kapsabet is asking on what was the presentation by the public, the only way that this then can be reported is when we have this bill. So that now, as we talk now, there is no bill or there is no law that is demanding of the committee that is engaging the public on a document or a legislation, Honorable Speaker, for us to report. We only say, as we talk now, what has been the practice? You go to public participation, if there is any amendment or there is none, you proceed. And the public have no way of even making a follow-up to ensure that whatever they presented is captured. But now, with this bill, every presentation by the public, both oral, written, or verbal, Honorable Speaker, shall be captured, and there is a follow-up. In fact, even in this bill, all public engagements, participation shall be recorded both in with the answer written, and we are going to report, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Member for Kapsabet, if he still wishes that the presentations from the public are captured and followed to the latter, it is only until we have this bill, Honorable Member for Kapsabet, that we are going to be able to have that report. Without this, we'll continue doing what we are doing, Honorable Speaker.
Habari Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Ningependa kuuliza habari Mheshimiwa Spika. Unajua Mheshimiwa Kikuliche Pwani kila mara huwa anauliza ya kwamba pengine mimi sielewi Kiswahili. Ya kwanza, ningependa kupata habari kwake. Kwa nini hakuandika kwa Kiswahili? Kwa sababu mimi sielewi Kiingereza. Hiyo ni ya kwanza. Ya pili, kwa hiyo sheria anatusomea, hii ndio marekebisho yake. Hiyo tulienda kwa wananchi. Hii kwa marekebisho hatujaenda kwa wananchi. Yeye saa yote anatukaranga. Anatoa ile sheria tulikuwa tumepitisha kwa ile marekebisho haijaenda kwa wananchi. Mimi naelewa hiyo sheria mzuri, nasoma kila siku. Hiyo yenye unasoma sasa ni sheria. Tunarekebisha hiyo sheria kwa hii. Hajaenda kwa wananchi. Kutuambia kwamba hii imerekebishwa. Najua hiyo tulienda, hiyo tujaenda. Sheria ni sheria. Hata uongee Kiingereza, uongee Kiswahili, sheria ni sheria.
Information, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, but
I
so
think
that I can
actually
conclude this matter.
Yeah,
on-
the member for Kapsabet actually, I want to inform the member for Kapsabet actually that this is a document which stratifies inaeleza kwa Kiswahili vile public participation inatakana ifanywe, kwa sababu yale ambayo ulikuwa umesema ipitishwe kwanza warekebishe ndio hii
Ni tamu
ndio hii
kipengele
ilete
76 Mheshimiwa Spika.
Honorable Elfas Cheriat, you know very well that when you start with English, you must proceed with English to the conclusion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I oblige. Mr. Speaker, this is a document actually which outlines, I want the member to understand me clearly. This is a document which outlines why, what do we need to do when we are doing public participation. So when we went to public participation to Wananchi, they said we want a document which is written either in English or Kiswahili or Braille. So when we pass this one, some of the documents now which we will be doing public participation in the field, it will be written in both in English, Kiswahili or Braille. So we cannot do that before we pass this one. This is the roadmap where we can develop structures, because we don't have structures now because we have not passed this one. When we pass this one, it gives us an outline. We are demanding that when there is any public participation to be done there, what is it supposed to be done? So this is the structure, the roadmap to what is needed for us to do there. When we are going to do any public participation, like now, section page 21 of this document, it says, invite expert advice during civic education exercise. Now, when we are doing public participation there, we have to invite those people actually who understand what we are going to do in the ground. If it is agriculture, if it is healthy, if it is roads, develop its own schedule of activities. We have to develop a schedule. It is not just let's go for public participation. It shows us what entails, what is there in this public participation, who are supposed to be there, what are we to do, what are we supposed to do with information from the public. If that information has been captured, how should we ensure that actually it has been implemented? So this is a roadmap, Honorable Member. I think it is long overdue, because actually if we had passed this thing long time ago, we would have done away with it. Now, it shows that some of these things which we have been doing has no clear roadmap. So this is a document which outlines to us what are we supposed to do during public participation. And when we went to the public participation, like when we went to Kapsabet, some of the sentiments by the public was captured. Members were saying, can you give us the document 2 weeks before you come and tell us what is supposed to be done, so that we go through it? Like we went to Kapiet and members were saying, now you are coming today, you are giving us a volume of documents, and you want us to go through it. We don't even understand. Why don't you give us this document one month prior to? So it is captured here. Documents actually which are supposed to be given to the public should be presented earlier, before the day when we are going to do that public participation. So those are some of the issues which we think.
Hoja nidhamu Mheshimiwa Spika. Kipengele namba 9 Mheshimiwa Spika.
Yes, Honorable Fred.
Hiyo ndio maana nimeuliza Mheshimiwa. Sijakataa hoja. Nimesema vile sheria inaenda. Yeye lazima iende kwa wananchi. Ndio tukuja tupitisha. Hakuna mtu amepinga yale umeandika. Lakini kulingana na sheria lazima tuende kwa wananchi. Alafu saa hii ulikuwa umesema ya kwamba ati pengine tulikuwa tumeenda kwa raia, tena unasema tutaenda. Alafu ya pili Mheshimiwa Spika, ningependa Mheshimiwa Kikuliche Pwani kulingana na kipengele namba 9 atuambie wazi. Kwa sababu ukiangalia kwa hiyo roda Mheshimiwa Kikuliche Pwani hajasaini. Hajaweka sahihi yote kwa hii sheria. Na anasema anaunga mkono Mheshimiwa Kikuliche Pwani. Mheshimiwa Kikuliche Pwani amesoma hii hoja Mheshimiwa Spika, na yeye mwenyewe hajakubaliana na hiyo sheria Mheshimiwa Spika. Na yeye anatuambia hata anajua na hakuweka sahihi. Sheria Mheshimiwa Spika lazima kipengele 90 lazima ukue na wasi ya yale mambo unasema. Kama ulikuwa umeunga mkono ungekuwa umeweka sahihi Mheshimiwa Spika. Ushukuru bwana kwa sheria Mheshimiwa Speaker.
I think, honorable members, let me guide you that every member has the right of debate to share his views or her comments on the same. Eventually, this one will translate to a vote. I want to guide that even as you give the point of information and the likes, you should always not direct to a member. I have seen Honorable Elfas directing his energies to Honorable Fred instead of the entire House. So you should always direct the debate to the entire House. Subsequently, Honorable Fred has raised a pertinent concern, including questioning whether the public participation was done or not. This is not the final stage of this particular bill. I am giving direction that when we finally come to the Committee of the Whole House, this one should be supplied the dates that the public participation was done, and the venues, and the various attendees. I am sufficiently informed this bill was taken to public participation together with the budget making process and the Nandi County Abattoirs bill. So there were 3 bills taken to public participation. So the specific dates and venues should be supplied as part of the components of the deliberation finally as we make the final resolution of this. So it is directed. Honorable Ngetich, you want to make contribution?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I stand to support this bill, Honorable Speaker. For my case, I want to thank the committee for having done a wonderful job. My proposal, Honorable Speaker, is to thank you also for giving room so that in case any member has amendments, you have given room so that when we have the committee of the whole house, that amendment can be taken care of. Otherwise, I want to support, since that there is some information that what the member for Kapsabet is asking, public participation was done, and if that evidence can be proved, I think as members, I want to believe that if this bill is not 100%, it is 90%, which is also an amendments can be done maybe in future, so that this bill cannot rust in our cupboards. So, Honorable Speaker, I stand to support.
I proceed to now put a question that Nandi County Public Participation and Civic Education Bill 2018 be read a second time. Will as many as of a similar opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay?
Nay.
The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, adjournment.
Being no other business, they will still adjourn until the next formal sitting.